What up, YouTube Live? How's it going, everybody? All right, let me make sure I've mentioned on my social media here that I am now live at youtube.com/Rama Screen. So all of y'all can chime in and join with me today. Oh, man. Sunday. Okay, I am now live at youtube.com/Rama Screen 1. I think we're going to X that part out. And here we go. And how did that go? It was Heath Ledger, right? Heath Ledger's the Joker in the movie The Dark Knight, which is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year. There's a scene where he's like, "And here we go," and he was like expecting an explosion, but the explosions didn't happen. Man, such a great movie! Such a great movie. Before I get to the topics at hand, want to let you all know that there is a new giveaway. Rama Screen just held or just hosted a new giveaway, I should say, where I'm giving away 2 pairs of movie premiere tickets. That's right, 2 tickets to the premiere of this new movie called Shine. And the premiere, excuse me, I just had lunch. I apologize. The premiere is happening this October 2nd in Los Angeles. I'll give the details to the winners. I'm looking of course, for 2 winners. Each winner will get a pair of tickets, obviously. So I just did a video about that. If you want to know how to enter the giveaway and get your chance to win the tickets, make sure you go watch the video right here on Rama Screen YouTube channel. And I'll provide also the link to the Gleam. The Gleam is this service that I use that I will be using from this point forward to host Rama Screen giveaways. So you enter your information there, and then we'll randomly pick the winners, and hopefully you guys get to be the lucky ones. So make sure you check that out. It's always fun going to movie premieres. I've gone to movie premieres, a few of them myself in the past. I now go mostly to press screenings, where I sit down with other press and other critics, which is fine. Movie premieres is fun, though. You get to actually sit inside a theater, the same place as the stars themselves. I remember I went to the movie premiere of Drive Angry. You remember that Nicolas Cage movie, co-starring Amber Heard, and I think it's Billy Crudup and William Fichtner. So I remember I was invited to that. I went in. I was like, "Oh my God, Nicolas Cage is sitting right over there, just a few rows down from me." And then Amber Heard's like, "Oh my God, she's gorgeous." And that was before. I think that was before I became like a regular press member or critic. And I was going there. I believe I won a contest. I think. Anyway, I was there as a fan, as an audience, and it's just so cool. You feel like, oh my God, and then you feel like you have to dress up because everybody's there going to be dressing up, looking good. So I was like, oh, that's nice. Grooming myself for once, for a special occasion. So definitely, so much fun. If you haven't been to a movie premiere, this is your chance. This is your chance to go to your first one. So Rama Screen giveaway, once again, to win tickets to the premiere of the film Shine. That's happening. The premiere is happening this October 2nd, this Tuesday evening. So I will be announcing the winners tomorrow. So yeah, the deadline's coming soon. So right now, enter your chance. Right now. Don't dally. Don't wait till the last minute to do so. And tell everybody in their grandma. Oh, maybe you don't want to tell everybody and their grandma. You want to keep it to yourself because I was like, then more chances for you to win it. But either way, I'm spreading the word out there. Go enter the contest. I'll provide the link in the description box below this video. All right, so the topics at hand here. Oh man, it's been a busy week. I I missed out on a lot of news this past week because I was at the LA Film Festival 2018. You know me, I'm a one-man band, so I'm juggling like two, three, four things on my own. So unfortunately, that resulted in me uh, not being up to date when it comes to the blogging part because I was focused on one interview press room to the another interview press room to from one carpet to the next carpet. Sometimes there were like three carpets happening in the same evening. It was insane. Um, they didn't necessarily happening at the same time. They were not happening at the same time. They were happening like back to back, one after the next. It's like so there are three red carpets at the LA Film Festival 2018 at the ArcLight Culver. So there's one by this side, there's one on the other side of the theater, and then there's one inside the theater. So it's bananas. It's bananas. So I missed out on a lot of stuff this past week. I was trying to get on top of things, but there's only one me. So I want to say I apologize if I was not keep if I couldn't keep up with the news that's happening this past week. But that's why we have here Rockin' Rama Screen Live. Um, but real quick, just want to say about LA Film Festival. My reaction to it, my thoughts about it. I enjoyed this year. I enjoyed this year. I thought I was not going to enjoy it because they moved it to September. I was one of those people who were like, "Why? Why did you move it to September? Just keep it in June." Because September it's already crowded. There's like Toronto Film Festival, there's Telluride, there's Venice Film Festival, and now of course this weekend is Beyond Fest. Um, so but you know what? It turned out okay. Uh, the movies that were featured there, the big movies, the A-list, the featuring A-list stars movies, they were not as what's the word I'm looking for here? They were not as big a name as last year's. Last year's we had Ingrid Goes West, Shot Caller. This year is kind of few, but I mean we did have All About Nina, Mary Elizabeth Winstead. That's a big name, and Common. We did have The Oath. That's a big one too. Ike Barinholtz, Tiffany Haddish. So, do I think that bringing the festival back to June would attract more A-listers? Would attract more big names? I think so. Yes, I think so. Um, I think it would be perfect if we have it in August because there's no film festival in August. But as my friend mentioned the other day, and she brought up a good point. August is usually when people go off on vacations. August is usually when people take a month off or a weeks off. So that's the downside of having it in August. Plus, August is also is known as the summer's January. You know how January is the dumping ground for crap movies, for shitty movies. Uh, that's how it is. Also, August. August is pretty much just like that. Um, Although this year we had Crazy Rich Asians and Searching, and so those are pretty good films. Um, oh yeah, I interview so many people, so make sure you go watch my interviews with them. Please, please, please check them out right here on Rama Screen YouTube channel. Great stars from Elizabeth McGovern of Downton Abbey, Haley Lulu Richardson, Roger Bart. You may know or recognize him from Desperate Housewives. All the way to Jim Gaffigan. I interviewed Jim Gaffigan twice, back to back, 2 days in a row, because he had two movies airing or premiering at the LA Film Festival. How awesome was that? Um, Last year I had Jennifer Morrison and Michael Angarano. So, it's pretty good combination of famous people and people from the independent world who are still climbing up that ladder. So please, please, please make sure you go check it out. Right here on our Screen YouTube channel. Spread the word. Share the videos with everyone you know. Oh, Amy Garcia, Alfred Molina. My God, I was so geeking out about Alfred Molina. He was awesome as Doc Ock. You know, he's one of my favorite villains in the superhero movies. Spider-Man 2 remains one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. It's Superman, the movie, Christopher Reeve, Spider-Man 2, and then everything else, you know. So I think The Dark Knight maybe comes close to being rank 3. But anyway, wow, Alfred Molina. I got and one of the things I love about the red carpets at Elephant Festival is that unlike the red carpets at movie premieres that I usually also cover, there's not a lot of outlets at the Elephant Festival. So it's so the spaces between the press on that press line or on the carpet, they're not too tight. At the Elephant Festival, there's actually space in between. I can actually breathe. You know, I can actually. They don't have. I mean, Access Hollywood didn't go there. ET Entertainment Tonight didn't go there. Extra didn't go there. So it's cool, just like having the whole space to myself. I kid you not. The red carpet of Alfred Molina and Amy Garcia. I was the only video interviewer there. It was insane. I was like, whoa, nobody's here. I guess I was the only one who RSVP'd. So that was fun. The closing night film, No Miss, starring Henry Cavill and Alexander Daddario. Not a very good film. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. It's just, as I tweeted the other night, it's like a low rate version of another much better made thriller. So there were parts about it that worked. There were parts about it that just like, wow, this is like red box quality. It's sad because you have Alexander Daddario and you have Henry Cavill there. So I was like, come on now, you got Superman in this movie. Let's make it good. Let's make it good. The red carpet for that one did not turn out satisfactory, in my opinion. I mean, I'm glad that I got the director and I got to interview Umpo Quaho, a fantastic supporting actor in the film. But I didn't get, the leads like Alexander Daddario, Minka Kelly, Eliana. So I was a little bummed out about it, but I did a live stream from there. And I mentioned to you guys from that event that by that point, I was already exhausted. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be depressed. I'm not going to be angry that I don't get Minka Kelly or Alexander Daddario because hell, I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I just want to watch this movie and then go home. Screw you guys. I'm going home. So that was in other evenings, I probably would be like, oh, feeling down about it, bummed out about it. But that evening, I was like, I was ready to just be done with LA Film Festival. After a week, I was just tired. So that's a bit of my reaction about the LA Film Festival 2018. Hopefully, they could bring the event back to the month of June instead of September. It would be nice. Of course, it's not as hot in September, so that's the upside. So there's always this give or take, right? Opportunity cost. June or September, the pros and cons of each month. So we'll see. They told me that they were gonna just stick to September from this point forward forever, but we'll see. They might change their mind. Yeah, that's it. All right, so let's get to the topics at hand here. Stuff that I missed out on this past week. Oh my God, X-Men Dark Phoenix trailer. Woo! X-Men Dark Phoenix trailer. Did you guys see that one? All right, so of course the trailer dropped one in the middle of LA Film Festival, so I wasn't able to give you guys, probably my response or my thoughts about it. So I'm giving it right now. Feel free to chime in if you have reactions about the trailer. Okay, so I watched it. I believe it debuted at night, right? It was like Tuesday night. I want to say around 10 p.m. Pacific time. I just came back from Elfin Festival. And I was so tired, but I was like in front of my computer. I was like, oh, gotta wait till the trailer arrives. I can't sleep yet. No, I gotta post this. It was so insane because like the teaser says, oh, the trailer's gonna arrive tonight. It was like earlier in the morning they announced it like, oh, the trailer's gonna arrive tonight, but it doesn't come with an exact hour and minute. So everybody's like on their phone and on their laptop, like I was, just waiting and waiting. When is this gonna show up? You keep checking 20th Century Fox YouTube channel. At least I did, and it's like refreshing it. No, not yet. Come on. And then bam, 10 p.m. it arrived. And did I like the trailer? I I must say I wasn't crazy about it. I think after so many X-Men movies, after so many X-Men movie trailers, I'm not saying that they all start to look alike, but you're not as enthusiastic or you're not like rah gung ho about it as you were or as you would be the first time around or the first time you see an X-Men trailer. Because now X-Men movies come out like every other 3 years, right? And it's like, okay, 3 more years we're gonna have another X-Men movie. I guess that's just that's just how it is now. We become numb or normal to it. So I wasn't like, oh my god, Dark Phoenix, oh. It was just okay. I felt like, you know, whatever. As you know, Dark Phoenix was or is, I would say, is based on the famous Dark Phoenix comic book saga. I believe in the 70s. I want to say in the 70s, right? You can correct me if I'm wrong there. Um, and it was previously adapted or loosely adapted, I should say, or at least, or 20th Century Fox attempted to adapt it um, through X-Men: The Last Stand in 2006. It's the film by that directed by that douchebag Brett Ratner, and so it tried its. I don't even want to say it tried its best. It was like it wanted to incorporate parts of the Dark Phoenix saga into the movie, but it did not come out right. A lot of the fans hated that film. I don't blame them. It's I think one of the least favorite of all X-Men movies. If you were to rank, if you were to rank your favorite X-Men movies, X-Men: The Last Stand would probably be the bottom, along with X-Men Origins Wolverine. God, that movie was awful. X-Men Origins Wolverine. Shit. Fuck, dude. No wonder Ryan Reynolds made fun of made fun of his part in that role in Deadpool 2 and in Deadpool 2. That was fun, fantastic. So yeah, because that movie sucked, all right. So now we have X-Men: The Last Stand sucked, I should say, and now we have this new upcoming version that I believe is a more direct adaptation. So it's not dancing around it. It's not like, oh, let's get some uh, parts of Dark Phoenix and put it right here. No, I think this is a direct adaptation of the Dark Phoenix comic book saga, and it's helmed by Simon Kinberg, who produced previous X-Men movies. As you know, Bryan Singer directed many of those movies. And as you all know, also, Bryan Singer's been in the doghouse. Oh, freaking Bryan Singer, because he got fired from 20th Century Fox's project Bohemian Rhapsody because he didn't show up to work. Um, and then, of course, the sex lawsuit allegations. So his reputation is not so good right now. Not so good. Not so good. so so he's not coming back to X-Men franchise anytime soon. I don't even know if he's still if his name's still attached as an executive producer of Dark Phoenix. I don't know. So that's a good question. So this one is helmed by Simon Kinberg, and for those of you who may not know um, much about the comic book saga, the Dark Phoenix saga, let me just boil it down to this: it's basically about Jean Grey. All right, that's it. So in the previous X-Men movies, or at least the first three X-Men movies, it seems like Wolverine was the lead star. Hell, even Wolverine was the lead star in X-Men Days of Future Past, because he was the one that got sent to the past instead of I forgot that name. It was another character in the comic book that was sent to the past, not Wolverine. So after so many X-Men movies with Wolverine as the leads, and then of course Jennifer Lawrence, Mystique, or Raven sort of played the lead as well, along with um, Michael Fassbender's version of Magneto. Now, boom, Sophie Turner as Jean Grey is the main focus or the focal point of Dark Phoenix. Um, if you see the trailer, it's it's not as action packed as I wanted it to be, but then again, maybe they were going for that more heavy drama as opposed to like bombard you like, oh my god, this Magneto's just threw that car across the street again. Nothing like that. Um, I like the rendition of the Doors classic song "This Is the End." That was pretty cool. I guess the million-dollar question is this going to be the final X-Men movie under 20th Century Fox before Disney and Kevin Feige's Marvel Cinematic Universe take over? That's a good question. I've already shared with you my previous thoughts about that. I guess I'm still the only one on earth who don't like the idea of Disney acquiring Fox. There's too much monopoly and consolidation these days. I want Fox to remain Fox. I don't like this whole acquisition idea. You know, I think despite the failures of Fantastic Four, we can all agree when it comes to other Marvel properties under Fox, when it comes to Fox's other Marvel properties, they did pretty okay. Deadpool come out okay, Logan came out okay, right? And of course, X-Men movies are okay. Um, so I'm a little iffy about the idea that this might be the final 20th Century Fox's final X-Men movie. Um, so there's some parts about that trailer. I don't want to give too much details away. That did kind of pay homage to certain stuff in the X-Men cinematic universe and the comic books. Um, I believe Jessica Chastain, I want to say, plays an alien, the empress of an alien named Lilandra. Although the movie did not really show her in the Lilandra form, but that's the rumor, at least. That's the rumor that I've heard of. And if it's true, then her quest is to imprison or to execute Dark Phoenix. But we see shots in the trailer of the X-Men group going off into space, and it seems that they encounter that solar flare that transformed Jean Grey. So it goes back to what I said earlier. It seems that this is going to be sort of like a direct adaptation of the comic books, as opposed to just taking elements here and there, and incorporate it into another story like X-Men: The Last Stand. Um, there's a shot also that people seem to be talking about in the trailer. There's a funeral. Um, Of course, I can't show you the trailer right now because I'll get slapped with copyright from 20th Century Fox. I don't know how you guys do your trailer reactions out there. But there's a shot of a funeral, and everybody's wearing, black suits, and there's a shot of like raining going down on top of a coffin, and like, um, we see Storm, I think Nightcrawler, I think Beast is around the coffin as well. Um, and the theory out there, the fan speculation out there is that it's the funeral of Raven or Mystique. The theory is that um, Jean Grey is not able to control her Dark Phoenix side, so she inadvertently kills Jennifer Lawrence's character Raven, and that got pretty much the team very upset and divided them. And I think some of them will blame Charles Xavier for her death. So I'm just saying that's the theory out there. That's the rumor out there. So I don't know if that could even be filed under spoiler, because we don't know right now. We don't know if that is the case until we see the movie next year. It comes out, I think, February. So until then, we won't know. But the theory is that, basing on the trailer, somebody dies, and the team blames Charles Xavier. You see in the trailer, in particular, Henry McCoy, Beast. He got pissed at Charles Xavier. So, and then of course, Beast is in the movies has some relationship with Raven. So that's gonna be interesting, right? Because usually somebody's death is a strong motivator, is a strong force to push somebody off the edge, um, either to the dark side or the light side, using using Star Wars reference. Um, so that I want to see. If that is the case, I totally understand why freaking Jennifer Lawrence is a big star. I don't know why she would wanna. I don't know why she would wanna tie herself down to hours of makeup and to be Mystique again. Or, I mean, she could do all kinds of other projects. She's an Oscar nominee. Maybe she wants to move on. I don't blame her. Um, so, but that is the theory out there. Sophie Turner as Jean Grey. I gotta tell you, I was not really when they cast Sophie Turner as Jean Grey. I was on the camp of like, really, I just because she has red hair. But the trailer kind of has me sold. I think she's got what it takes. Another point also in the trailer, they bring back the yellow suits instead of going with the dark blue suit color. I'm not sure why they're going back to the X-Men First Class suit. It's kind of odd. But yeah, those are some of my thoughts about the trailer. I don't know. There's so many I don't know factors right now. There's so many fan speculations, rumors about, oh, this could be that, or this could point out to that character, or that's an extra Easter egg for that. Um, Although Simon Kinberg has, I think, already released a statement, no, debunking some of those rumors out there. But then again, if you recall, before Star Trek, before Star Trek into the, before Star Trek Into Darkness came out in theaters, um, there were rumors that Benedict Cumberbatch's character is actually Khan, and if you recall, like even Benedict Cumberbatch himself is like, no, I don't play Khan in this movie, and voila, he turned out to be Khan. So you can't really take, whenever if Simon Kinberg or any of the cast members saying no, or debunking rumor this, rumor that, you can't really take their debunking as gospel. All right, it might be it might be their way of not necessarily misleading you, but their way of trying to, hey guys, it's fun to speculate, but let's keep it tight lid. Don't spoil the fun for the rest of the gang. That's their way of saying like, oh no, it's not true. That's their way of debunking. That's the reason for debunking some of these rumors. But some of those rumors, some of those theories may come out to be true. Just like Khan, with Benedict Cumberbatch. Turns out he is. So We'll see for sure when the movie comes out. I believe I want to say, yeah, February, right? We gotta double check on that. But so still got some time here. All right, let's get to the chat real quick. Tyler says, but the real question is, why do none of them age in the X-Men prequels? um, the Fox version of the X-Men is in the casket. That's a good one, Tyler. And you know what? Here's the fun, I guess, funny explanation, or maybe jokingly explanation of why they don't age. Because hey, Days of Future Past pretty much, reset the timeline. Because fuck it, right? The timelines in X Men movies, they're out of whack, man. If you try to put all of X Men movies in like one string of timeline, you will be confused. So I guess that answers your question. Why none of them age? I, it's like we don't really even know the timelines in the X Men movie, so we don't know exactly where this one is in relative to that one, in relative to that movie. So I guess they'll stay ageless as long as they reset. If they have an X Men Days of Future Past 2 and do it again, then we'll see. We'll have another ageless X Men team. But Fox's X Men is in the casket. Oh my God, that's funny. Oh, I really don't want Disney to own Fox. Why? Why is this happening? Come on, people. Come on. Why do we let a few companies own the world? Can we have like a gazillion companies? God. Oh, well. All right. So the next topic is also the one I missed out on this past week because of LA Film Festival. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker makeup test footage. Holy crap. Did you guys see that? Mm, it's amazing. Um, of course, I can't play it here for copyright reasons, but you can look it up online. It's basically a shot of Joaquin Phoenix, um, and you see a footage of him dancing, in a clownish Joker look, makeup and outfit. A footage of that kind of like an old vintage broadcast 70s TV kind of footage, overlaid on Joaquin Phoenix's face, and then the next thing it blends and you pretty much see Joaquin Phoenix's full-on Joker makeup or clown makeup face as he smiles, and then at the last minute or the last second, I should say, he stops smiling, and that's it. That's pretty much it. Um, so my first reaction when I saw that, I was at the LA Film Festival and I saw that on my phone. I was like, "Holy crap, that's creepy." All right, that's the word I was looking for. Creepy, creepy, creepy. It's so unique. It's definitely not Heath Ledger or Jared Leto's Joker. It's Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. Um, as you know, this is not part of the DCEU. Um, WB's DC property. They want to. WB wants to make more of this kind of movie where they have like a spin-off character study standalone. So this one is about the Joker, and I think they're gonna plan another one for about another character. So it's not connected to Justice League or Aquaman or Flash or anything like that. Um, and the tone, as I understand it, it's gonna be like Taxi Driver meets The King of Comedy. Both of them are actually Martin Scorsese's movies, and I believe Scorsese is one of the executive producers of this project. I believe so. Let me read to you this. Zazie Beetz, who plays Domino in Deadpool 2, she's going to be in this Joker origin film as a single mother who catches the interest of the man who eventually becomes the Joker. The script is provided by Todd Phillips, who directs the film. Uh, co co-writer is Scott Silver. Robert De Niro plays a talk show host. Mark Maron plays Robert De Niro's character's agent. And I believe Thomas Wayne is going to show up in this film. He was initially going to be played by Alec Baldwin, but Alec Baldwin, bulked out of that because I it got leaked that the character is going to be like Donald Trump-esque, and Alec Baldwin already played Donald Trump in SNL. So I was like, fuck this, I'm not going to play, this character again as Thomas Wayne. There's no range there. There's no range. I'm an actor, damn it. So, so he left, and another actor replaces him as Thomas Wayne. The budget is very modest. It's about $55 million. Very, very modest for a superhero film or villain film, comic book film, I should say. Um, so it's a gritty crime story that's set in the 80s, exploring how this guy eventually becomes a mastermind criminal. It seems that I haven't read the script, but judging from the set photos, because they got so many leaked set photos of this project online, you can check out Just Jared and Perez Hilton. It seems like it's a guy who's trying to be an entertainer, who's trying to be a clown. I'm assuming shit keeps happening to him. Bad luck keeps happening to him. Like he just can't catch a break, and maybe he just snaps, or he becomes so desperate that he has to turn to crime, and after he gets a taste of it, he's hooked, and he becomes better and better at it as he goes along. So I'm guessing that's probably the formula that they're going with this origin story that's set in the 80s. If they use Taxi Driver and the King of Comedy as sort of like a reference for how the film's tone's gonna be, then you can probably visualize like the old dirty New York City, crime-ridden New York City, as a model for what Gotham will look like in this movie. So it's very, very interesting. You know what? Before I move on to the next topic, I just want to remind you guys, if you guys recall, Joaquin Phoenix was one of the names or one of the actors that was being considered for the role of Doctor Strange. Do you remember that? Marvel actually was, Kevin Feige wanted Joaquin Phoenix for Doctor Strange. This was before they threw in the name Benedict Cumberbatch. And I don't know why that never went through the deal. Somebody told me it was because Joaquin Phoenix doesn't like the idea of being bogged down to or being tied to a contract of like 3-4 films. Maybe he's just one of those actors like, you know what, I just go from one project to the next, man. I don't want to be like, I gotta be there and I can't do this other thing that I wanted to do because I'm contractually obligated to be back as Doctor Strange. Maybe he's just one of those actors. Maybe that is one of the reasons. But remember, he was supposed to be one of the people that was being considered for Doctor Strange. And you know what? I must say, he would have made a very interesting Doctor Strange. I don't know about a perfect Doctor Strange, but definitely an interesting one. I can't visualize him as Doctor Strange. And now that I have Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange in my head, so I can't get that away and replace that with Joaquin Phoenix. But I tell you this much. Back to the Joker one, that test makeup promo footage, man, he looks the part. Okay, he looks the part. He looks perfect. All right, for what they're trying to accomplish with this Joker, this whole 80s crime drama thing. Joaquin Phoenix is just right. How is he gonna be? compared to Heath Ledger or Jared Leto or Jack Nicholson or I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna say like, oh my God, Joaquin Phoenix is gonna get an Oscar nomination for this Joker role. We won't know till the movie comes out. But just basing it off of that promo footage, it blew me away. It was so creepy, and he was like, the when he gets his face on, when that footage overlaid his face, and bam, he has that clown face on. It pretty much embodies everything that some people hate about clowns, why they have clown phobia. They see that pro footage, and I was like, that's why I hate clowns because they're that creepy. The footage gives that again to them. So yeah, love it, love the footage, love the test makeup footage. Can't wait to see the entire movie that I believe comes out next year, October 4th, 2019. So mark your calendar. All right. Let's get to the chat real quick. Um, Tyler says Michael Fassbender turns into Ian McKellen in the 8 years between Dark Phoenix and X-Men. Right, right. The fucking timeline, man. The fucking timeline. It's so messed up in the X-Men universe. They keep, like I want to use that comment by Flynn Rider from the movie Tangled. When he said, they can't get my nose right. They just can't get my nose. Like, they can't get the timeline right. They just can't get the timeline right. Cindy says, I don't know about Sophie Turner. Everyone knows on the Game of Thrones what happens to the first Jean Grey in the first X-Men. Jean Grey was previously played by Famke Johnson, a fantastic actress whom I've met, I've interviewed before. I had the hugest crush on Famke Johnson for a while after watching her in GoldenEye. Do you remember GoldenEye, that James Bond movie where Famke Johnson plays the villain, and she pretty much had orgasm while firing her weapon. Bah, 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 bah. She finds pleasure in killing people. It's hilarious, and her character her character in that film loved rough sex, and it's hot. It's hot. So, well, Famke Janssen moved on. So she's doing other stuff nowadays. And Cindy says, I don't want Disney either. I guess referencing to Disney owning Fox. Same here, Cindy. I don't like that either, but unfortunately, it's happening. It's just sad, man. Again, we have to live in a country where there's lots of companies, not just like 2 or 3 owning everything. That's not America. How is that America? But I don't want to get into that too deeply. Tyler says about Joaquin Phoenix, he already seems better as the Joker than Jared Leto. Bam. That is correct. I could not have said that any better, Tyler. Jared Leto's Joker, listen, guys, it's like Brandon Routh's Superman, okay? I don't fault Jared Leto. I think he was supposed to play that version of the Joker, the psychotic one, the one that's out of his loony bean, whereas Heath Ledger's Joker is more calculating, is more manipulative, whereas Jared Leto's Joker is like, let's do some anarchy, baby. So for that version of the Joker, it was interesting. I wanted to see that. Unfortunately, the Suicide Squad script was such a mess, so incoherent, and it didn't even give him or his version of the Joker to shine. So it's like Brandon Routh's Superman. Superman Returns. The uneventfulness of that movie is not necessarily Brandon Routh's fault. Just like the crappiness of Suicide Squad is not necessarily Jared Leto's fault, at least in my opinion. But keep in mind, everybody, Joaquin Phoenix will have this Joker movie, but, and this is true, Jared Leto will also have his new Joker standalone movie. And that one's going to be more connected to the DCEU, obviously. Whereas Joaquin Phoenix is just something separate, a different iteration, a different incarnation, a different reimagining of the character. Cindy says, "You notice it's new Joker they're coming up with. Why not Penguin or Riddler?" That is a possibility. As I mentioned earlier, this Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is going to be the first of many more to come. Not many more Joker movies, but WB is also planning this spin-off standalone, different reimagining that's going to be separate from their DCEU, DC Cinematic Universe. So yes, they might have a separate origin movie about Victor Fries, aka Mr. Freeze, for example, or a separate origin movie about well, they're making Batgirl, right? They're or at least they're redeveloping Batgirl after Joss Whedon left. So that one's gonna be like that too. So they have Joaquin Phoenix Joker, they have Batgirl, so they're gonna have that lineup of movies that are gonna be separate from DCEU. So yes, a Riddler movie or a Penguin movie, um, that might be they might be on the horizon. So your wish may get granted after all, Cindy. Not a problem. Tyler says, even though it's supposed to be in separate universes, I think Wonder Woman should show up in the Joker film since both are set in the 80s. Oh, that's an interesting point. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Wonder Woman 1984, right? Wouldn't it be pretty interesting if hear me out here, Tyler. What if the post-credit scene in Wonder Woman 1984, after the end credits roll, you see a post-credit scene, and bam, you see Joaquin Phoenix shows up, or maybe Grace shoulders with Diana, maybe bump shoulders on streets of New York. I don't know. Wouldn't it? That'd be a pretty cool scenario if that could happen, but we don't know. Right now, as it stands, it's not. There's not gonna be crossover of Wonder Woman and Joker because they're set in the 80s. But it's an interesting idea, though. I would not mind that thought at all. All right. The next topic is Birds of Prey. Okay, this one also happened this past week while I was at LA Festival. Um, So let me read to you the context here from the news. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, one of my favorite actresses. I had the hugest crush on her for the longest time, and I interviewed her recently for the movie All About Nina. So make sure you go watch my video interview with Mary Elizabeth Winstead right here on Rama Screen YouTube channel. Just a little plug there. She's been cast as Huntress. She's gonna play Huntress, and actress Journey. I apologize if I don't butcher the name correctly here. Journey Smollett Bell. She's gonna play Black Canary in the new movie, WB's new movie, Birds of Prey. It comes out February 7, 2020, co-starring Oscar nominee Margot Robbie, who reprises her role as Harley Quinn. Mm. Now, so who is Huntress? Let me give you just a tiny bit. If you guys didn't grow up a DC fan, and that's fine. Um, there are different incarnations of Huntress. There's Helena Bertinelli and Helena Wayne. There's the Golden Age version of it with Paula Brooks. I think the name is Paula Brooks here. Let me read it. Yeah, Paula Brooks. And then there's the Bronze Age Huntress, and that character's name is Helena Wayne. And then there's the latest one, the modern age, Helena Rosa Bertinelli. And I believe in the TV series Arrowverse, um, she is played by actress Jessica DeGo. So you've seen her, if you watch Arrow series, you've seen that version of Huntress on the small screen, live action. Um, Black Canary. There's also different incarnations here. There's Dinah. I want to say Dinah Lance, and there's Dinah Drake. So we don't know yet exactly which version that the Birds of Prey movie will feature. On the Arrow series, the CW superhero series, Dinah Lance or Dinah Laura Lance is played by Katie Cassidy. Fucking hottie, man. She's amazing. She's so sexy. And then Dinah Drake, the other version of Black Canary in Arrow, is played by actress Juliana Harkavy. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And her abilities is that she's very skilled at martial art, and she has ultrasonic scream. So that's a little bit about Huntress and Black Canary for you. I believe Huntress is good at um, bow and arrow as well, just like Green Arrow. So what's interesting is that this was one of those where a bunch of actresses were gunning for these two roles. Um, Let me read to you here some other actresses. The actresses that Mary Elizabeth Winstead beat out or win against or defeated in the competition to play Huntress includes Margaret Qualley and Kristen Melody. Um, I believe for the role of Black Canary, actress Gugu Mbatha Raw from A Wrinkle in Time, she also screen tested for that, or at least read the script for that. Um, and Janelle Monáe from Hidden Figures, I'm reading here. But WB or the producers of the film uh, ultimately decided on Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Huntress and Jumay Smollett Bell as Black Canary. Um, they're also casting the role of Renee Montoya, a lesbian detective on the Gotham police force. And they're going to cast an Asian actress to play the role of Cassandra Cain, who in the comic books is a mute and socially maladjusted, an assassin who was also at one time Batgirl. But the studio is going to remold Cassandra Cain as a 12-year-old girl in this movie. So now, if you're wondering who the big bad villain will be in this film, the rumor has it. Now, it's not official yet. What is for sure is that the story will be set in Gotham City without Batman. So it's a crime-ridden Gotham City, but minus Batman. Batman's not around. Rumor has it that the big bad villain will be Black Mask. Um, he is described as the brutally sadistic kingpin in Gotham City's criminal underworld, who has a fixation with masks. And some of his abilities includes mind control. I don't think he had been previously adapted to the big screen or small screen or live action. So this is going to be, if this is the villain, right? If the rumor is true, then this is going to be the first time we see Black Mask realized in live action. The director is an interesting one. I kid you not. She is a former Wall Street Journal reporter. Yep, former Wall Street Journal reporter turned filmmaker. So she's a journalist and becomes a filmmaker. Maybe I'll get to be that as well someday. It's a pretty cool transition, if you ask me. Her name is Cathy Yan. And so this marks the second female filmmaker in the DC cinematic universe after Patty Jenkins directed Wonder Woman movie. And this marks Cathy Yan's the first Asian director hired to direct a big budget superhero movie. So Yan is that first Asian director. So congratulations, Cathy Yan. Before we move on, I want to give you guys an interesting story back behind the scenes, I guess you'd say. I was at the press junket for All About Nina this past week. I interviewed Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and this was before the news hit the web that she was going to play Huntress. But there was already news that she was gunning for the role, and of course I couldn't bring up those questions because I was told that I have to keep the questions only about All About Nina, and that's fine. That's fine. That's what the press junket is for or about. but before the camera started rolling, I approached Mary Elizabeth Winstead and I told her like, "Oh my God, Mary, I'm a huge fan." And she's like, she's smiling. "Oh, thank you, thank you." And I told Mary, I kid you not, I told her this, Mary, I think you would have made, I think you would have made a great Wonder Woman. I was vouching for you. And she like, she giggled and smiled. "Oh, thank you." And she said that was years ago. So when she said that, I was like, I wanted to ask more, but then the camera started rolling. I was like, oh my God, maybe she did um, either audition or read for the role of Wonder Woman at one point or another. Maybe when Joss Whedon was trying to get Wonder Woman the movie off the ground. Do you remember that? Maybe during that, but she only said, "Oh yeah, that was years ago." Mary said. So I didn't get exact details exactly like if she ever actually tried out for or tested or did some kind of audition for the role. But it's interesting because I truly believe. My friend said when I brought this up to her, she's like, "Well, I don't see Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Wonder Woman though because she's not exotic enough." And I'm like, okay, I guess just because you came from an island called Themyscira, that means you have to be exotic to play Wonder Woman. I don't know. Did Linda Carter look exotic? Linda Carter played Wonder Woman in the '70s, and she's white as she can be. So I'm just saying that excuse is a bit weak. Because there are different incarnations of Wonder Woman in the past where she's not all that exotic, and the whole Gal Gadot, with the accent thing, that's the movies, that's the DCEU version of Wonder Woman, and so I think there can be just like there's Joaquin Phoenix's Joker and there's Jared Leto's Joker, there could be a non-exotic Wonder Woman, but you know what? That said, I'm not complaining about Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. She's perfect for that role. She's great. She's nice. Um, she embodies her. She's a combination of beauty and strength. Love Gal Gadot in that role. I'm just saying that Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Wonder Woman is also not a bad idea. In an alternate universe, I could see that happening to her, or for her, I should say. So yeah, it's a fun interaction, short, brief interaction that I had with Mary Elizabeth Winstead prior to our interview, and it just kicks me out, man. I'm like, oh, I told her straight up that I think she would have made an awesome, awesome, awesome Amazonian princess, and she loved it. She laughed and she said, oh, that was years ago. Um, all right, let's go to the chat here before we move on to the I think the second to last topic. Cindy says, "I like the WB Birds of Prey. It was a short-lived show." That's right. That's right. Do you remember that? It was okay. I believe I want to say early 2000s, right, Cindy? Um, I remember the story wasn't really well written, um, and that's why it did not get the audiences that it was hoping to get, and because the ratings were pretty low basically, and they canceled it after just like even not even like one season. I want to say half a season. Um, but I love the actresses in that show, but it was not TV during the early 2000s. They were because of The Sopranos and because of HBO's reinventing television storytelling. Every other network is trying to reinvent too. So if you remember in the '90s, it's all cheesy, Walker Texas Ranger, Kung Fu, The Legend Continues. Dude, I watch all of those, but those are cheesy '90s TV. They don't really put thought and effort in the arc. And then The Sopranos came, boom, it was a game changer, and it was like late '90s, and so everybody is like, oh my god, we can actually make TV look cinematic. We can actually make TV storytelling more solid, and so there's a shift, and stuff like Dark Angel with Jessica Alba and Birds of Prey, it wasn't able to. They were not able to adapt to the shift, to the transition. At least in my opinion, that's the case. So, but I remember the show. I remember it was very short-lived. You are correct. Um, Tyler says I would still rather have a Man of Steel 2. I know, right? So, what do you think? Is Henry Cavill still Superman, or I mean that Instagram video post of his, Tyler, it was very cryptic. He was holding Superman figurine. It's like, what are you saying, Henry? Are you still Superman or are you not? Or are you the Witcher? Make up your mind. Okay, you can't have both. um, but yeah, I would not mind Man of Steel 2. Although I tell you this much though, Tyler, if they do have Man of Steel 2, if they ever make one, if Henry Cavill is back for Man of Steel 2, I hope to God that Superman doesn't kill anybody anymore in that film. The whole thing with Superman killing Zod, that took me a while to be okay with that. I was like, really? Come on, the Boy Scout kills, really? The Boy Scout murders? Come on. Um, as a Superman fan, it took me a while for me to get there, for me to get to even like tolerate the idea, to be okay with it. Um, and Mary Elizabeth Winstead will still always be Ramona Flowers to me. Yes, yes. I interviewed Mary Elizabeth Winstead a few years ago for an independent movie that she did, and I asked her, I kid you not, I asked her, is there going to be Scott Pilgrim 2? And she said, no, no, unfortunately not. And she's right. The first movie did not make enough money. I think it's because it came out in August. It came out. I kid you not. I think Scott Pilgrim, if I remember correctly, came out at the same weekend as The Expendables and Eat, Pray, Love with Julia Roberts, right? Yeah. So you have the female romantic drama and the testosterone action film Expendables, and you have this in the middle, Scott Pilgrim, and it couldn't find that. It couldn't find the audiences that it needed. Um, and time has passed, man. Time has passed. Now, Mary Elizabeth Winstead has moved on. Everybody, and of course, Michael Cera is still Michael Cera. He will be Michael Cera in every movie that he does. So aside from Michael Cera, everybody's already like, it's too late for a sequel. Too late. Um, Tyler says him and Zod killed millions of the people in that city. For reals, man. Man of Steel. What the hell? Those buildings kept tumbling down when they were like fighting like pinball machines. Bam, 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 bam. I was like, what is this? Come on, Zack Snyder. What the hell? And then he kills Zod too. I was like, oh, so would I be excited about Man of Steel 2? Yes. But I want Man of Steel 2 to be better told. There you go. To be more well told, right? To not deviate from the characters. You can't have Superman killing people. You can't have Batman killing people in Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice. Did you see him breaking people's necks in that movie? He breaks people's necks like crazy, like so easy, like snapping, like going to the one to the next. I was like, what the hell? Oh, it's so dumb. All right, before I get carried away here. Man of Steel 2 sequel, Two Man, Two Steel. Hey, have you been watching Too Fast, Too Furious, starring Tyrese? Is that why? Is that why? All right. The second to last topic, Sesame Street live action musical movie. Da, 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 Wow, man. I don't know if you heard this, but WB has hired Portlandia director co-creator Jonathan Crisell to direct their movie that's based on the long-running children's educational show, and the movie will be musical. I'm actually not surprised that it's going to be musical. Obviously, because if you've seen the show or if you grew up with Sesame Street, they have music, song and dance numbers in that show. So that's not a far, that's not a stretch. That's not a big shocker to me. Um, the script is actually drafted by Mike Rosolio and got polished or rewritten by Chris Galletta, and so produced by Sean Levy, Michael Aguilar. As you know, after so many years with PBS, HBO licensed 5 seasons of Sesame Street. So Sesame Street right now airs on HBO. Um, this includes Sesame Street Muppet spin-off series, which is a new educational series for children. Now, guys, I actually grew up watching Sesame Street in Indonesia. In Indonesia, they actually showed Sesame Street. Um, and so, yeah, this episode is brought to you by the letter F for whatever F is. Not fuck, whatever, whatever, family friendly F stands for. This shows, and then the Count Dracula, like two bats, three bats, and of course you got Big Bird and that um, earless elephant. Elephants that don't, the elephant that doesn't have ears, Snuffleupagus, uh, and of course Elmo and Oscar the Grouch, who lives in the garbage. And then, well, the news doesn't say that the human characters will return, so we don't know if there's going to be actors playing Maria, the new Maria, or the new Gordon. So we'll see about that. But am I looking forward to Sesame Street the movie, musical movie? Nah, I'm like, whatever. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, I'll be okay. But let me read to you what's interesting also from this past week. Um, there was an interview, excuse me, with former Sesame Street writer Mark Salzman. The interview was done by LGBTQ lifestyle website Queerty. And Mark Salzman revealed, right, he's a former Sesame Street writer. He was one of the writing team or part of the writers of Sesame Street for a long time. And he revealed that Bert and Ernie are lovers. That Bert and Ernie are gay. Now, I'm not laughing at that. I'm just laughing at the fact that, yeah, duh. Here's my reaction to that. Duh. Am I the only one who did not suspect that Bert and Ernie are gay lovers? Let me read to you his exact quote from Mark Salzman. Quote, I remember one time that a column from this column from the San Francisco Chronicle, a preschooler in the city turned to mom and asked, are Bert and Ernie lovers? That coming from a preschooler was fun, and that got passed around, and everyone had their chuckle and went back to it. I always felt that without a huge agenda. So basically, Mark Salzman says in this interview that he compares his own relationship with acclaimed editor Arnold Glassman to the characters Bert and Ernie. And so he said, I always felt that without a huge agenda when I was writing Bert and Ernie that they were, meaning they were gay lovers. I didn't have any other way to contextualize them. The other thing was more than one person referred to Arnie and I as Bert and Ernie. So, oh, it's good. It's good. It's finally out, right? It's finally out in the open. Why the hell? That's good. But here's it gets even funnier. Uh, where is that statement? I was reading that statement. It was on my screen. Okay. Oh, the people in charge of Sesame Street right now heard about Mark Salzman statement, and they denied it. They said, no, 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 no. Bert and Ernie are not gay. Okay. So Sesame Workshop tweeted this statement, and I quote, As we always have said, Bert and Ernie are just best friends. They were created to teach preschoolers that people can be good friends with those who are very different from themselves. Even though they are identified as male characters and possess many human traits and characteristics, as most Sesame Street's Muppets do, they remain puppets and do not have sexual orientation. End quote. So basically, Sesame Workshop says, hey, Mark Salzman's opinion is Mark Salzman's opinion alone. That's his, you can have that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that Bert and Ernie are lovers. They are just puppet best friends, you know? And puppets don't have sexual orientation. Puppets are not gay, they're not straight, they're not bi, they're not what have you. They're not trans. Um, they're just puppets. So why do you think Mark Salzman needed to make that statement? Maybe it's just him identifying with the characters he worked on for so many years. It becomes something that's endearing to him. So to for him to say, hey, yeah, they're gay lovers just like Arnie and I, and that's fine. That's totally fine. I'm not saying that that statement or that opinion is wrong. Um, and I'm not. And the opinion of or the statement that Sesame Workshop also released about Bert and Ernie, that also is not wrong. So it's just based on, I guess, what you want Bert and Ernie to be. If you want to see Bert and Ernie as just bromance, or maybe two guys who happen to live in the same apartment for many years, and happen to hang out with nobody else but themselves or each other, that's fine. No sexual attraction. Hey, you do you, boo. Have your own perspective. But if you want to consider Bert and Ernie as gay lovers, I'm fine with that too. All right, nothing's gonna fault you for that. If you see like, hey, Bert, if you want to use Bert and Ernie as some sort of a poster boy for liberation for LGBTQ, go out of town, man. More power to you. Have at it. Have at it. So yeah, I think this is just an interesting news. It's not shocking. It's not controversial. It's not provocative. It's something that happened this past week. That they're making Sesame Street musical live action movie, and a former Sesame Street writer said Bert and Ernie are gay lovers. So it's interesting that those two news came out during the same period of time. Um, it'd be funny if Bert and Ernie are portrayed as a gay couple in the musical movie, because I mean it's musical. Come on, would you be surprised if they are gay couple in a musical? So again, not judging. I'm just pointing out, if you want to think that way about them, that's just cool too. If you don't, that's also cool. All right. All right. So Tyler says, well, already sounds better than Happy Time Murders. My God, Happy Time Murders was such a, oh man, such a clusterfuck. That movie was just such a clusterfuck. Ah, um, make a Bert and Ernie film in the style of Brokeback Mountain and call it a day. Well, Tyler, you probably have seen, right? Posters of Brokeback Mountain with Bert and Ernie's faces plastered on it instead of, or in place of Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal. So yeah, let's do that and call it a day. Why the hell not? Again, nothing wrong with one, nothing wrong with the other as well. All perspectives is fine with me. Last topic of the day, final topic. Kathleen Kennedy renews her contract with Lucasfilm all the way through 2021. That's right. So the president of Lucasfilm, or the head honcho, Kathleen Kennedy, the Kevin Feige of Lucasfilm, if you want to call it that way. Her name is Kathleen Kennedy. She gets to keep her job for the next 3 years, all the way through 2021. Um, Kennedy, who produced so many movies over the years, many of them were Steven Spielberg movies. She became the president of Lucasfilm back in 2012 after Disney purchased Lucasfilm for about $4 billion. Damn it, $4 billion, man! Makes you like, oh, when I heard that, I was like, number one, I wish I could be George Lucas because that's a lot, that's a shitload of money. But I do hope that George Lucas retains some profits off the merchandise sellings because that's how he made his shitload of money over the years. Not necessarily the movies. Yeah, yeah, the movies they make money, but the toys and the merchandise and the figurines, that's where the gold is. That's how George Lucas really mined his Star Wars property. So hopefully he gets to, I don't know if he retains that part after Disney bought him out. But I would, at least if I were him, I would retain that aspect, or at least a share of it. Um, Number two, Kathleen Kennedy was part of the big team that pretty much launched all these Star Wars movies we've seen recently, with Star Wars: The Force Awakens, Rogue One: A Star Wars Story, The Last Jedi, Solo, a Star Wars story, and Episode 9 coming up next year. And then, of course, there's the new animated series Star Wars Resistance on the Disney Channel. And John Favreau is making a Star Wars live action series um, for Disney's new digital streaming service that's coming out next year. Um, and I believe Ryan Johnson, who directed Last Jedi, is also planning a new Star Wars trilogy that's not going to be Skywalker saga. That trilogy is going to move on from the Skywalker story. Um, and the guys behind Game of Thrones, what's their name again? Oh, let me double check again. I think David Benioff, David Benioff and DB Weiss, they're also developing Star Wars movies, new Star Wars movies for Lucasfilm. Um, so I guess my question to you is, do you think Kathleen Kennedy has done a pretty good job as the president of Lucasfilm? Do you think she's done a good job with? Do you think that she has done, or do you think that she hasn't done a good job uh, with the whole Star Wars saga franchise? Because some fans are pretty angry at Kathleen Kennedy, not only because of Star Wars: The Last Jedi, but also with her firing Phil Lord and Chris Miller um, from Solo: A Star Wars Story. Her firing, she fired Colin Trevorrow from Star Wars Episode 9. So it seems that, as I mentioned in previous videos about Star Wars, it seems that Kathleen Kennedy and her team, she has, or they have, a big picture of what they want the arc to be. So if a filmmaker comes in with their vision and say, hey, let me put a spin on that one or this one, that's it. Their ass is out on the street because it's not in agreement with the vision that Kathleen Kennedy and her team have. So I don't know. Do you think that that's a bad thing for Star Wars? Um, do you think Star Wars movies or Star Wars saga has gone downhill since he took office, or has it gone better because of her? Let me know. Let me know. Share your thoughts in the comment section below, because for the next 3 years, she will still be the end all be all deciding factor or decider, or the person that, yes, you can go ahead with that. No, you can't go ahead with that. Yes, you're hired. No, you're fired. She's still going to be that person for the next 3 years. And I don't know if that's something to celebrate, or that's something to be, it's like, crap, I can't believe she's still sticking around. So which camp are you guys on? Let me know what your thoughts. And as I mentioned to you in the previous Rockin' It with Rama Screen Live, Bob Iger said that yes, there's going to be a slowdown of Star Wars movies after Episode 9, which is fantastic because there's just too many Star Wars movies happening every year, man. It's just like, come on, come on. And then there's Star Wars on the small screen too. It's like you don't want to end up hating this franchise because you get too much of them or too many too often. So I'm glad they're going to be slowing down after Episode 9. Hopefully, it'll take a few years after Episode 9 for it'll take a few years, hopefully, for Ryan Johnson's new trilogy to arrive. Right? It'll take a few years, hopefully, for until the David Benioff and DB Wise's Star Wars movies to arrive. Because we could use the breather, man. We could use I guess the break in between. You don't want to have a Star Wars brain freeze. And I think part of how Kathleen Kennedy is part of that, part of the reason why we have too many Star Wars way too often. It might backfire. So share your thoughts. Do you think that's a good thing that Kathleen Kennedy is still in charge of Lucasfilm and Star Wars movies for the next 3 years? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right. All right. Before I end this Rockin' It with Rama Screen Live, Tyler says, I bet all the Last Jedi and Solo haters are salty. Tyler says, I'd say she's done okay. I love Force Awakens and Last Jedi, and Solo were just fine. Well, Tyler, don't. I mean, I agree with you on the Last Jedi and Force Awakens. I thought the Last Jedi. I did not hate the Last Jedi, but I understand why people are angry at it. I understand why their anger is valid. The way they changed Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker's personality, for one example, and a bunch of other reasons too. So I understand their anger, but the first time I watched Last Jedi, I had no beef with it. I thought it was a great film. Solo is just fine. I had fun watching Solo, but the whole transitioning from Phil Lord, Chris Miller to Ron Howard, I think that had an effect on the whole quality of the film itself. Again, as I mentioned in previous videos, like, why did you hire Colin Trevorrow or Phil Lord or Chris Miller? Why did you hire them in the first place if you're not going to let them be what they are as filmmakers? If you're going to just dictate them, why hire them if you're going to restrict their creative freedom? So I don't understand that about Kathleen Kennedy and her team. A lot of people hated Solo. And again, their hate or anger towards it are pretty valid too, because I believe that movie suffered from a shift from one creative vision to another, at least in my opinion. Tyler says, I'd say she's done okay. I love The Force Awakens last year. Okay. Tyler says they'll slow down once they kill off the rest of the CG trilogy characters. Oh, that's funny. Speaking of which, speaking of CG characters, as you know, they're gonna have a new Indiana Jones movie, right? I think coming up 2020, if I'm not mistaken. I hope to God that those CG gophers from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, I hope they don't show up. I fucking hated that CG gophers, man. I fucking hate that nuking the fridge concept. It was just so dumb. So, thanks a lot, Tyler, for bringing up CG characters. Fuck you, CG gophers from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. All right, guys, that's it. That's the weekly show, Rockin' It with Rama Screen Live. Today's edition, September 30th, 2018. I can't believe tomorrow is already October. Holy crap, time flies. The next thing we know is Halloween, and then bam, Christmas, and then New Year's Eve, and then bam, we all die. Or either that or zombie apocalypse, either one. So, so thanks for tuning in. Come back again next Sunday, same time, same bat channel, same bat cave, 3 p.m. Pacific time, right here at youtube.com/ramascreen1. And subscribe and become my patrons, patreon.com/ramascreen. Let's rock this.